Welcome to this overview of Schwab Compliance Technologies. My name is Jake Fechter, Director of Compliance, and I'm joined today by Alicia Bauer. Schwab Compliance Technologies is the software that the legal and compliance team utilizes for employee attestations, disclosures, and questionnaires. You can access this program through Okta and also by clicking the hyperlink at the bottom of the automated emails generated from this tool. During associate onboarding, employees must finish a number of initial attestations within their first 10 days as required by the SEC. On an ongoing basis, associates will be required to complete a standard questionnaire each quarter. Associates will also be expected to update the status of certain disclosures in SCT upon triggering events in areas like trading, outside business activity, or political contributions. In the spirit of fostering a culture of compliance across the firm, we need everyone's help in completing these compliance attestations on time to avoid any possible regulatory issues. Alicia, I will now kick it over to you for a walkthrough of the primary attestations in SCT.
During your onboarding, you will receive an email that you have a series of action items to complete in the Schwab Compliance Technology system. When you click on that link, it will take you to this homepage saying that you have 2 questionnaires to complete. As you can see, there are a series of affirmations to complete. Many are HR related, benefits related, and then compliance related. We will focus on a few during this overview. Code of ethics, policies, procedures, associate policy handbook, and then a few public company policies of partner firms are required upon onboarding. These periodically change, and you will be required to attest to those as they are updated. 2 things we want to focus on are the holdings disclosure and outside business accounts disclosure. We will start with the holdings disclosure. As you can see, you will need to initially report any covered security holdings that you have in your account or any account that you have direct or indirect beneficial ownership in. This would include any family members or anyone living in your household as well. To disclose that information, you will hit the disclose button. You will go to this page that looks exactly like this. Our suggestion is to pull the most recent statement that you have from your accounts and add as an attachment. You will go ahead and select new and then choose the file to upload and hit save, or save and add another if you have more than one. Once you have completed the adding all the attachments, you will need to select this checkbox and then go ahead and hit submit. Next, we will go over the outside brokerage accounts. This disclosure is to disclose any brokerage accounts that contain covered securities. Covered securities include ETFs, individual equity positions, and also closed-end funds. Again, same as the holdings disclosure, this would include anyone living in your household or any account that you have beneficial interest in or have the ability to make investment decisions on. To disclose those accounts, you will go ahead and hit yes if you have them. If you do not have them, you can go ahead and hit no. This is where you will add any of all this information which is required. The account title, you can put any account title in here. We typically recommend it being close to the title of the account which at the custodian which it is held. In the brokerage field, you will type in the brokerage account firm. For example, let's use Charles Schwab. In the account number field, you will add the account number with no dashes or spaces. And then you will also go ahead and add an attachment, which would be your latest statement, and then hit submit or submit and add another if you have more than one.
And Alicia, I think might be a good time to go through some examples or common questions we get from folks on the covered security aspect and the brokerage account disclosure. So I know a question we get a lot is, right, if I just have an account that holds open-ended mutual funds, do I need to disclose that? And right, the response there is no, not necessarily, or it's not required because again, that doesn't fit the definition of a covered security. Or what about, let's say, a 529 account? Again, in most cases, those aren't going to hold things like individual equities or ETFs, and so that would not need to be disclosed. Alicia, anything else in terms of common questions you're getting from employees related to brokerage accounts that you might mention?
Another common question that we get is, 401k questions, and employee stock purchase plans. If your spouse has an employee stock purchase plan or someone in your household does, those accounts do need to be disclosed as they hold reportable securities in the form of individual equity positions. And as mentioned, another question that we get is on 401ks. 401ks typically only hold open-ended mutual funds and therefore do not need to be disclosed as well. If you do have a question about your account, you can always send us an email with the statement and we can let you know if it does need to be disclosed. Once you have completed all of the affirmation items and you go back to your homepage, it will say that you have no action items at this time and you are completed. If you do decide to open up a brokerage account after completing your initial disclosures, you will jump into this system and go ahead and select security accounts pre-approval. Here, you will include all the required information, including account title, brokerage firm you intend to open it at, your anticipated opening date, and then these two other questions. To note here, we do require all new accounts to be opened at the following custodians: Charles Schwab, TD Ameritrade, Fidelity, Vanguard, or E-Trade. The reason for these accounts being required to be held at those custodians is because we do have a direct feed into the Schwab Compliance Technology system, which allows transactions and holdings disclosures to be pre-populated with your information, which allows for easier disclosure, more timely disclosure, and more timely approval from the compliance team. Additional information to be able to disclose here: once you get approval from the compliance team that you're able to open that securities account, you will then disclose that brokerage account here under outside brokerage accounts, very similar to the initial disclosure that you had completed if you had any brokerage accounts then. You will add account title, brokerage firm, and account number, and then go ahead and hit submit. As Jake had mentioned at the beginning of this video, the Schwab Compliance Technology System is used for other disclosures, including political contributions and outside business activity. To create those disclosures, under the quick links on the homepage, you will see Create a Disclosure. Here, you will see this affirmation type dropdown, and you will select the disclosure which is required. So if you are disclosing an outside business activity, you would select outside business activity, and then the disclosure form will load with all required information needed for us to review the outside business activity and either approve or deny. Keep in mind, when you are submitting an outside business activity, this needs to be pre-approved from the compliance team prior to starting the outside business activity. The other disclosure would be the political contributions pre-clearance. You would go ahead and select that here, and you would put in all required information for us to be able to review this disclosure. Additionally, if you are a registered associate under the firm, you can update some U4 information on here as well, including what information is changing and then any details about the change. If you do have any questions about the policies or are wondering where you can find them, you can also find those under the quick links under View Policies. If you do have any questions, you can reach out to a member of the compliance team or reach out to our compliance mailbox at bswcompliance@buckinghamgroup.com or bspcompliance@buckinghamgroup.com, and we will get back to you on your question.